Meng Gang's heart skipped a beat, and he realized that today he really met a difficult master. Ordinary people have long been scared out of their wits when they encounter military inspections. If they have any questions, they will appear to be submissive, basically asking what they want and answering what they want. There is no one like the one in front of me, who is clearly confronting me, and also makes sense, and I can't even refute it. Now that things have come to an end, Meng Gang can only continue to grit his teeth. Will we not lie to you? Lin Moyu laughed. Whether you will lie or not, I will ask you. The conversation suddenly changed, and Lin Moyu suddenly raised his voice. I can also ask everyone, has the military given you any explanation? As soon as these words came out, the crowd boiled again. No, not even an apology. How can there be any explanation? The tape is almost the same tilde. Ha ha ha, how dare we ask them to explain? Yes, you must make it clear, don't be so vague. Lin Moyu shrugged. Everyone doesn't seem to believe you. Meng Gang's complexion became extremely ugly. As a god king, slight sweat leaked from his forehead. Even in the face of hundreds of millions of degrees of heat, he will not sweat. Can now. Meng Gang felt that he had found the wrong person. The young man in front of him was not an ordinary person at all. His smile is like a devil. Meng Gang turned his head and glared at his subordinates, which meant to say, look at the trouble you caused me. Lin Moyu said, Mr. Meng, don't waste everyone's time here. To waste time is to waste life, and maybe people will miss opportunities. Meng Gang whispered, wait a moment. Lin Moyu felt a wave of soul force, and Meng Gang was obviously communicating with others. Lin Moyu estimated that Meng Gang should be asking his superiors for instructions. Some things, he is afraid that he does not have the authority to decide. I hope it can be more practical. Lin Moyu thought to himself. What he said just now, one link after another, is to force the military to give himself enough compensation. If you want to investigate yourself, no problem, I will cooperate with you. But at the same time, compensation cannot be less. And there must be actual compensation. That kind of big talk is useless. There must be an explanation, that is, there is no explanation, it is empty words. Under the gaze of Lin Moyu, Meng Gang finally got an answer from the upper management. Meng Gang said, if you can prove your combat prowess, we will award you the honorary title. Hiss. There were gasps in the ears, and many people's eyes widened, a little unbelievable. When Lin Moyu checked the information, he saw the explanation of the title of honor. The honorary title is a special title given by the military to non-military personnel. After having the honorary title, you don't need to join the army, you can enjoy the same treatment and the same power as regular soldiers, and the military rank is no longer just a military rank. Like ordinary military officers, they can be assigned to their own team, or even lead a large army. And he himself is still a free man. You can rejoin organizations like the Temple of War without being affected. Therefore, the honorary title of the military will not be given out easily. Over the years, the four giants reacted to those who received the honorary title. Lin Moyu knew in his heart that this was a good move by the military. If you are doing military merit, this compensation will naturally be invalid, and you will be affected. If you can prove that you have enough combat power, the military will not suffer from an honorary title. After all, where his combat power is, he is a genius enough to fight across borders. It's not the cross-border god-slaying king at the peak of the true god, but the second-level cross-border reversal god-king of the true god. This ability to fight across borders has long been beyond common sense. It has surpassed the category of genius. For such a person, giving an honorable title will not hurt the military. Lin Moyu's thoughts were like lightning, and he immediately understood the thoughts of the upper echelons of the military. But the conditions given by the military are already very good, and I can only accept it. The honorary title, he really wanted it. Remain free and enjoy all the rights of a soldier. Really good. Lin Moyu said, I believe that what your military says, it can definitely be done. Well, how can I prove it? Lin Moyu's attitude changed and he did not make more excessive demands. Of course he understands the principle of accepting as soon as you see it. Seeing that Lin Moyu agreed, Meng Gang heaved a sigh of relief. A while ago, Fort No. 7 happened to have a lucky star beast of the second rank of the God King. As long as you can kill it, it will be enough to prove your skill. Lin Moyu hummed, yes. Quote. Seeing Lin Moyu agreeing so readily, Meng Gang's heart skipped a beat again. The faster Lin Moyu agreed, the more Meng Gang would feel that Lin Moyu really had this ability. But Meng Gang immediately added, "We will arrange a military fighting arena, and there will be formations in the fighting arena, which will seal all items, props and magic weapons, and we can only rely on our own skills." What Meng Gang meant was that Lin Moyu did not rely on his own combat strength, but borrowed some external strength, which was not what the military needed. 0. Asking for flowers. Lin Moyu nodded and said, "The starry sky behemoth of the second rank of the King of Gods is nothing." "Then please come with me." Meng Gang took Lin Moyu away from the military merit department and went to the military fighting arena. In the fort, there is a huge area that has been turned into a fighting arena. Its function is similar to that of the human emperor's arena, which is used to solve the contradictions between some practitioners. Sometimes, there are other effects as well. For example, the military occasionally conducts military exercises to show the military's combat history with practitioners. In this way, the military also absorbed a lot of fresh blood. When Lin Moyu came to the fighting arena, Meng Gang notified the upper-level military in advance, and the upper-level military had already made preparations in the fighting arena. Meng Gang said, "The fighting arena has already opened. As long as you enter, it means that the battle will start. Please be prepared. Point 0. We will try our best to ensure your safety, but we can't guarantee it 100%. After all, in battle, accidents may happen at any time. Your opponent is a giant beast in the starry sky of the God King realm, named Flash Lion. It can explode into a battle record of the third rank of God King in a short period of time." Meng Gang made a final reminder. Lin Moyu saw that the battlefield had already launched a formation. The sky outside the fighting arena was full of people. Usually there are always people watching in the fighting arena, but the news about Lin Moyu and the military was spread by someone, and it immediately attracted many people watching. Lin Moyu didn't care about this, and turned to Meng Gang and said, "Sergeant Meng, you don't usually look at the list of Suzaku starfields, do you?" Meng Gang was taken aback for a moment, then nodded, "I don't think so much." 27. Lin Moyu said, "Then you can take a look at the potential list and combat power list. My name should be on the combat power list soon." After speaking, Lin Moyu flew up and entered the fighting arena. Meng Gang was slightly taken aback. He knew Lin Moyu's name, and it was recorded in the battlefield card. As a member of the military, I really don't pay much attention to the potential list and combat power list of Suzaku Starfield. That is a list based on the authority of the realm of cultivation, and has nothing to do with the military. He opened the potential list, and saw the first place on the potential list at first sight. First place, Lin Moyu. Meng Gang instinctively called Lin Moyu's name, and the body of the God King couldn't help trembling slightly. Who can be on the potential list is not the pride of heaven. What's more, it's still the first place. Will this kind of person go to make military achievements? What a joke. Meng Gang realized that he was wrong, and couldn't help but glared at his subordinate. The fifth-rank warrior was so frightened that he bowed his head obediently and dared not speak. 6. Outside the military fighting arena, more and more people came. The news that a true god who practiced at the 4th level and challenged the God King to the 2nd-level starry sky monster spread at an astonishing speed. The speed of light is not as fast as the speed of news transmission, and it can be spread more than once. Especially when it was learned that this challenger was still number 1 in the potential list of the Vermilion Bird Starfield, the news became even more explosive. The scene was a bit chaotic for a while, but luckily the practitioners reacted quickly enough to quickly maintain order spontaneously. A large number of practitioners mixed together and began to talk about it. I heard that he was reported for making military achievements, and had to challenge the starry sky behemoth to prove his innocence. It's almost true. I think the military is dealing with people who make military achievements. They are so stunned that they are dealing with wind and rain. Really, it's too much to force people to die without evidence. Actually, the military is right to do this. It may kill other practitioners by making military achievements. We can't heal the scars of September 27th, and forget the pain. Forget everything that happened. But this time the military also showed sincerity. As long as he can prove his innocence, the military will award him the honorary title. Actually, the military is not at a loss. If he really made military achievements, his death would be for nothing. If he didn't make military achievements, he really has such a strong combat power. Giving him the title of glory is equivalent to attracting a top genius. Discussions continued to spread into Meng Gang's ears. Some practitioners are quite critical of the military's approach. Indeed, over the years, the military has indeed made a lot of efforts to stop the occurrence of military exploits. There are some things that are really out of line, and even provoked some big families, and caused a lot of conflicts inside and outside. But generally speaking, the matter of making military achievements has also been contained, and the overall trend is good. It can be heard from the voices of the crowd that most people still believe in them and feel that they are doing the right thing. Those who make military achievements should indeed be severely punished. But the previous methods were too strong, and most of them directly beat the disabled. Maybe in the future, you can be a little more gentle and change the punishment method. After Meng Gang decided this incident, he made a suggestion to his superiors, whether he could change his approach. At this time, there was a burst of exclamation from the crowd. The Emperor Qian is here. He breaks through the God King. It's amazing. It is said that he is only 200 years old. A 200-year-old God King is terrifying. There are successors to the Qian family. If Emperor Qian's momentum continues, I'm afraid he will be able to reach God before the age of 500. Meng Gang heard the reputation and looked over, and saw Qian Hao, who was coming from Yukong. Emperor Qian did not hide his information. The information of the first rank of God King is very dazzling. Meng Gang could tell that Emperor Qian had just broken through to the God King, and his aura hadn't completely gathered, and the laws on his body were still oscillating around his body like ocean waves. The young master of the Qian family, who is the second star of Suzaku God's domain, a leader of the generation. The Qian family is a family of gods, and there are many gods in the family. In the Vermilion Bird starfield, the forces are extremely huge. My family has a good reputation, people are righteous, not just bullying others. The Qian family's prestige in the Vermilion Bird star region is very high, not even much worse than that of the master of the Vermilion Sky region. Some people even said that if Zhu Tian's domain master can be promoted smoothly, then the Qian family is very likely to be the next domain master. Qian Huang is the eldest son of the Qian family, the leader of the younger generation, and is very likely to be the successor of the Qian family in the future. At the same time, Qian Huang himself is a great genius. He reached super gods in his 70s, breaking away from the category of ordinary people. Then at the age of 120, he reached the true god. Now less than 200 years old, he has become a god king. Moreover, Emperor Qian has been on the battlefield for many years and has helped many people. He is very popular here. Many people took the initiative to make way for Emperor Qian, so that Emperor Qian came to the forefront. Qian Huang saw Lin Moyu in the arena through the fighting arena, and said softly, "It's really him." Someone from the side asked curiously, "Senior brother Qian recognizes him?" Qian Huang nodded, "He is kind to me." Wow. Some people nearby were stunned. Qian Huang is a god king, and even said that Lin Moyu was kind to him. Even if it was the previous kindness, it was written down by Emperor Qian when he was at the peak of the true god. A fourth-ordered true god, reaching the peak of a true god. This alone can already explain Lin Moyu's strength from the side. Emperor Qian quickly understood what had happened, glanced at Meng Gang indifferently, and said softly, "It's a bit over." His words resonated with many people, and indeed some people felt that the military was going too far. If there is evidence, it is easy to say. But just guessing is a bit too much. Emperor Qian looked at Lin Moyu in the battlefield, with a calm face. Qian Huang thought of his brief encounter with Lin Moyu. Afterwards, he thought about it and found that he didn't see Lin Moyu's strength at all. Lin Moyu's strength is far from being as simple as it seems on the surface. At that time, Lin Moyu was able to block Yu Qingru's attack, and it was definitely not because of his good looks. Yu Qing rubbed his hand for mercy 0. Later he also saw the potential list and saw Lin Moyu's first name. "Brother Qian, do you think Lin Moyu will win?" Someone asked from the side. Qian Huang pondered for a while. Junior brother Lin's strength is unfathomable. Unfathomable, the 4 words express Qian Huang's thoughts. It shows that he is optimistic about Lin Moyu and thinks that Lin Moyu will not lose. But it is still a bit unbelievable that the 4th-level true god is against the starry sky giant beast of the 2nd-level god king. At this time, a shocking roar resounded through the starry sky. The surrounding images suddenly changed, and the formations in the fighting arena suddenly moved and expanded instantly. The world has changed, and everyone feels like they are in the starry sky. The fighting arena is gone, but it's not that it's gone, it's that the fighting arena simulates the real starry sky. The starry sky is vast, tens of thousands of kilometers long. Lin Moyu stood among them. Opposite to him, the gigantic starry sky behemoth of the sun was slowly unfolding. This is a lion-like giant beast in the starry sky, with a body size of more than 10,000 meters. There is a chain hanging on its body. When it moves forward, the chain collides and makes a clanging sound. The chains are like a cage, locking it up. But at the same time, the chain is also its weapon, enough to shatter the stars. Lin Moyu is like an ant in front of him. Even a hair on his body is bigger than Lin Moyu. Prisoner lion. Someone exclaimed and recognized the starry sky behemoth. Qian Wang's tone was low. The prisoner lion of the second rank of the God King can burst out the combat power of the third rank of the God King in a short time. At this time, he is not so sure about Lin Moyu. Indeed, the opponent is too strong. Everyone is holding their breath. The battle will start at any moment. Maybe this will be a very cruel battle. If Lin Moyu is really capable, maybe he can last for a long time. But win. Most people didn't think about it, didn't think Lin Moyu could win. After Lin Moyu entered the fighting arena, he cut off contact with the outside world. He can't even see what's going on outside. After waiting in the fighting arena for a few minutes, the fighting arena had a new change and turned into a starry sky. Then the prisoner lion appeared opposite. In the roar, it seemed that there was an invisible wind blowing towards his face, and the coercion of the God King realm enveloped him with cruelty. There was no fear in Lin Moyu's eyes, but a little excitement. Just right, let me try the sword with you. Since sublimating the two original spells of Strengthening Soldiers and Julie to star level, Lin Moyu has not had a chance to try their power. Especially the physical body has also reached the peak of the true God, which can carry more powerful power. The two original spells have extremely high requirements for both the soul and the body. The stronger the body and soul, the stronger the power that can be exerted. Needless to say, the soul of Lin Moyu, the soul of the peak of the fourth rank, the Jade Soul is purple. The physical body has reached the peak of the true God, stronger than many gods. In this state, Lin Moyu also wants to know what level he can achieve. At that time, when he met the second clone of the Abyssal Dragon Demon, Lin Moyu wanted to try it out. However, he was worried that the Abyssal Dragon Demon would discover his original spell, so he didn't use it immediately. Zhu Qiwu seemed to see his worries, so he solved the Abyss Dragon Demon for himself. But here, Lin Moyu believes that no one can understand. Even ordinary gods may not be able to see what kind of spells they are using. Zhu Qiwu said that the original technique is too high-end, and very few people have seen it. Unless he owns the original source spell, then he has a chance to recognize it. Let's start. Lin Moyu whispered something in his heart, and when the wind blows, the skeleton throne flashes. It just flashed for a moment, and the skeleton throne disappeared in an instant, like a dream bubble. Lin Moyu summoned the Skeleton King and retracted it instantly. Its purpose is not to use the Skeleton King to fight, but to inherit the Skeleton King's technique, God Slaying. The original spell, Gather. Cohesion, Fusion 110%, consume the power of the soul and enter the state of concentration. In the power-gathering state, it will inherit the power and spells of all summoned objects, break through the original level, and burst out with power beyond the limit. The power-gathering state will continue to consume soul power. As the soul power weakens, the power-gathering state will continue to weaken. During this period, you can kill creatures to obtain their power to maintain the power-gathering state. The power-gathering state puts great pressure on the body and soul, and if it is overloaded, it may explode and die. Lin Moyu drove the star-level original spell for the first time, inherited all the power of the Skeleton King, and then began to gather all the power of the undead army on himself. Huge power grew in his body. Lin Moyu felt such a powerful power for the first time. His aura rapidly increased, the fifth level of the true God, the seventh level of the true God, the peak of the true God. The speed of breathing is getting faster and faster, and it has reached the limit of the true God state in a blink of an eye. After reaching the peak of the true God realm, Lin Moyu still didn't feel any pressure. Whether it is the body or the soul, it can continue to carry even greater power. Accompanied by a light shout, he suddenly broke through the boundary of the true God and reached the realm of the God King. God King first rank, second rank. The momentum is like a broken bamboo. All the way to the fifth level of God King, Lin Moyu finally felt the swelling. The bulging feeling comes from the soul. Although it has not reached the limit, it can continue, but Lin Moyu knows that it is not necessary. The quality of the soul is high enough. After all, the level is still low. Of course, he can also continue to break through to a higher level. Even if the soul is blown out, it doesn't matter. With talent, he can be resurrected instantly. But Lin Moyu didn't continue. He knew that the 5th level of God King was enough. I didn't expect that the soul reached the limit first, and the body has not yet reached the limit. Think about it. Those gods, their physical bodies are just true gods. The body of a true god is enough to carry the power of a god. No wonder most practitioners only cultivate the soul and ignore the body. The gathering of strength is completed, and the next step should be to strengthen the army. Original technique, strong soldiers. Strengthen soldiers, 110% fusion rate, consume soul power and enter the state of strong soldiers. In the state of strong soldiers, the damage caused by all summoned objects is increased by 10 times. The state of strong soldiers will continue to consume soul power, and you can replenish the consumed soul power by killing enemies. In the state of strong soldiers, part of the obtained soul power can be absorbed and retained as one's own power. However, the foreign soul power has impurities, so it is best to refine and purify it before absorbing it. With the 5th level combat power of the God King, and then use the strong soldier state, it can exert 10 times the damage. Moreover, killing an enemy can also absorb the enemy's soul, and retain part of it to become one's own nourishment. This original technique, it sounds a little perverted, it is a real technique that uses war to support war, and the more you fight, the stronger you become. This technique is born for war, born for killing. All the changes of Lin Moyu can't be seen or felt by anyone outside the fighting arena. Only the imprisoned lions in the arena felt the change in Lin Moyu. A second ago, he was still an ant-like guy in front of his eyes, but suddenly he overtook himself. This made him a little confused, but also frightened. Instead, he flinched, the hairs all over his body stood on end, and the chains made a violent roar. This scene fell in the eyes of outsiders, and they all felt strange. Why is the prisoner lion scared? He is really scared. He seems to be a little afraid of Lin Moyu, a 2nd-level God King monster in the starry sky, and a 4th-level true god. Is that plausible? Is this really a starry sky behemoth? It can't be fake. Discuss again from people. Mengang heard it in his ears, and cursed in his heart, fake fart. If you have the guts, go in and try it yourself. At this time, a sword appeared in Lin Moyu's hand, a sword made of the law of immortality. His soul power is being consumed rapidly, and the 2 original spells are activated at the same time. With his soul power, he can only last for a few tens of seconds, and he must fight quickly. In the fighting arena, magic weapons cannot be used. So he used the law to condense it into a sword. God must use a sword, no matter what kind of sword, it is a sword. Although my realm has improved, the degree of control of the law has not improved. According to this calculation, in fact, I am not as good as the 5th-level God King in 803. But, strong soldiers, made up for the deficiency, and I should be stronger than the God King in the same realm. While Lin Moyu was thinking, his soul locked on the prisoner lion. Across nearly 10,000 kilometers, the sword was swung lightly. Kill God. The technique that belongs to Skeletor is perfectly reproduced in the hands of Lin Moyu. And it is more powerful than Skeleton King. The prison lion uttered its final scream, and it had a premonition of death. But it was already too late, a bright sword light appeared on it. After swinging the sword, Lin Moyu scattered the sword of law on the spot, because it was unnecessary, and he knew that the prisoner lion would definitely die. The huge body of the prisoner lion was torn apart and cracked in the sword light. Lin Moyu felt a majestic soul force returning to his own soul, and the talent giant tree was the first to act to catch all this force. Then the first pass of purification was carried out. After its purification was completed, it was handed over to the 9-colored dragon soul crystal for a second refinement. In the end, less than 1/10 of the soul power originally transmitted was left, and all impurities and dross were removed, leaving only the pure essence. These essences were absorbed by Lin Moyu, and his soul grew stronger. Lin Moyu felt that he was stronger again, the strength of the soul, and the field of law was also deepened. It is indeed a good way to practice. The battle is over and the starry sky disappears. The fighting arena returned to its original state, and the formation stopped functioning. All the people present widened their eyes in disbelief. Is this the end? What about the war that was agreed? Is it life or death? True God level 4, one sword instantly kills the 2nd-level God King, just kidding. Why do I feel unreal? Am I dreaming? Dreams dare not do this. Some true gods have been completely messed up, and they seem to have seen a miracle. And the creator of this miracle has returned to Meng Gang. Now, is there any problem? Lin Moyu was smiling, and his voice was calm. But Meng Gang couldn't help shivering, and quickly responded, "No, I'll report it right away." He began to report the situation of the fighting arena to his superiors, his heart trembling constantly. Lin Moyu can instantly kill the prisoner lion of the second level of the King of Gods with one sword, so he can also kill himself with one sword. This is no longer as simple as simply fighting across borders, it is simply crushing. Lin Moyu's strength has completely surpassed the normal range. Even those top evildoers in the City of God probably don't have this kind of combat power. Meng Gang actually knew that his superior must have been watching the fight just now, and he probably knew the result without his reporting. Lin Moyu's honorary title has been taken away. As for whether there will be any other rewards, it depends on the higher-ups. In Fort No. 1, there is a legion commander and 5 elders. All affairs in the fortress are basically decided by them. Normally, the head of the army seldom appears, and the 5 elders always control the operation of the entire fortress. The 5 elders are all gods, powerful and powerful. The other fortresses are similar, and there is also a legion commander, plus a few elders. Then the 10 fortresses were combined to form the battlefield army of the Vermilion Bird Starfield, all under the command of Zhu Qiwu. Zhu Qiwu is not the army commander of any fortress, he is guarding the battlefield, known as Zhu Zhenshao, and is the supreme commander of the human family of the Suzaku battlefield. Meng Gang felt that the elders in fortress number 10 could no longer make a decision about Lin Moyu. "I'm afraid it will take the head of the legion to make a decision." After Meng Gang finished speaking, he could only get a simple answer from the elder, telling him to wait. Meng Gang turned towards Lin Moyu with a little embarrassment. "Junior brother Lin, the elders may need some time, we need to wait a little longer." Now his tone to Lin Moyu is completely different from before. Although he still maintains the serious tone unique to soldiers, it has become gentle. There must be enough respect for the strong, this principle applies no matter where it is placed. Lin Moyu has shown enough strength to deserve respect. Lin Moyu chuckled, "Don't worry, we'll wait." Meng Gang hummed, since Lin Moyu has to wait, he can only accompany him until the result is released. Fortunately, Lin Moyu was in a good mood at this time and didn't make any trouble for himself. Lin Moyu's experiment was successful, and he was really in a good mood. At this moment, Qian Huang flew down and said loudly to Lin Moyu, "Junior brother Lin, we meet again." Lin Moyu saw Qian Huang a long time ago, and said with a smile, "Congratulations, senior brother Qian, you have successfully promoted to God King." Qian Huang smiled heartily, "Thanks to junior brother Lin for helping me block Niu Da, otherwise my life might be in danger." Emperor Qian wanted to be promoted to God King at that time. If he was disturbed by Niu King, the promotion would fail at least, and his life would be lost at worst. Either way, it would be a fatal blow to Emperor Qian. So in Qian Wang's eyes, Lin Moyu saved his life. Lin Moyu shook his head and smiled, "Senior brother Qian saved me." Emperor Qian looked a little embarrassed. "If I had known that junior brother Lin had such strength, I wouldn't have made a fool of myself." "You can't say that. Brother Qian saved me out of his heart, and it has nothing to do with strength. If my human race can have more people like senior brother Qian, the human race will definitely be more united and stronger." The two chatted about some things that happened after that day. Emperor Qian heard that Zhu Da was actually forced by Lin Moyu to make a great world oath, where he was looking for a century-old best fire for Lin Moyu, which felt a little funny. Originally, he still wanted to be promoted to the Queen of God, and go back to find Niu Da to settle the score. Now that Niu Da has become Lin Moyu's servant, he will not cause any trouble. About half an hour later, a person came from the sky and landed in front of Meng Gang without a sound. Meng Gang's body trembled violently, he clenched his fist with one hand, put it on his chest, and saluted respectfully towards the person who came. "I've seen the army commander. I've met the regiment commander." Several of Meng Gang's subordinates also saluted him. The movement is uniform and looks well trained. The legion leader was wearing a black robe. The robe was not made of ordinary cloth, but a special material similar to soft armor. There was a faint light on the robe, and it seemed to be shining with stars. Lin Moyu guessed that this robe should be a very powerful magic weapon. He stood there and nodded slightly, it could be seen that he was very majestic. Meng Gang and others looked at him with fanaticism, obviously Fang Wei was serious. The head of the army looked at Lin Moyu, "I am the head of the number 10 Fortress, Ki Yuanjin. He spoke very directly and simply, revealing the unique temperament of a soldier. Legion Commander, at least the 5th rank of God Venerable. Much stronger than the elders. And in terms of military rank, at least he is also a big shot at the general level. Lin Moyu followed the appearance of Meng Gang and others, and also saluted Ki Yuanjin. Lin Moyu had seen the army commander. Quote, he is not a soldier, so he didn't have to give a military salute. But Ki Yuanjin's temperament infected him, reminding him of the army in the small world. At this time, Lin Moyu also exuded the unique temperament of a soldier, pure and strong, even comparable to Ki Yuanjin, and completely overwhelmed Meng Gang and others. Qian Huang on the side was slightly startled, his eyes flickering. He knew that if he hadn't joined the army, he couldn't have such a temperament. But Lin Moyu has never joined the army. In the big world, one day is a soldier, and one day is a soldier. There is no such thing as retirement. Even if they are disabled, they are still soldiers. Since you don't join the army in the big world, you can only join the army in the small world. Ki Yuanjin raised his eyebrows. Brother Lin, have you ever joined the army? Lin Moyu nodded. I have served in the army in the small world. Are you in a high position? Ki Yuanjin asked. Lin Moyu didn't answer directly, so be it. Quote, of course Ki Yuanjin could tell that Lin Moyu was just being modest. Anyone who can come out of the small world is not a genius. This kind of genius is definitely a top figure in the small world, and in the army, he is definitely a leader. Even if it is to lead a world, it is not surprising. Although the things in the small world are no longer counted after entering the big world. No matter how strong your small world is, you are still not as good as cannon fodder after entering the big world. But this is not the case in the eyes of soldiers. Soldiers who have been on the battlefield are different from ordinary practitioners. Ki Yuanjin's eyes changed slightly. Before Lin Moyu was just a great genius in his eyes. But now, there is another layer of identity. Originally, he had some hesitation about awarding Lin Moyu the honorary title, but at this moment the hesitation was gone. Ki Yuanjin asked, are you interested in formally joining the army? Lin Moyu shook his head, not for now. Ki Yuanjin hummed, a genius like this has his own path requirements. He didn't force it. It's okay. Anyway, if you get the honorary title, you can count as joining the army. Maybe we can fight side by side in the future. There are no grand ceremonies, and the army keeps things simple. Even the matter of awarding Lin Moyu the honorary title was just done by the appearance of the regiment leader Ki Yuanjin. After giving Lin Moyu the honorary title, Ki Yuanjin didn't stay for long, and left after chatting for a few words. He left an impression on Lin Moyu that he was vigorous and decisive. After receiving the title of Glory, Lin Moyu's military title was changed to a 4th-tier Glory Warrior. When his military achievements are improved in the future, he will be able to serve as an honorary non-commissioned officer, honorary lieutenant, and even an honorary general. Although he has not formally joined the army, he has the same rights as soldiers. In a simple restaurant, Emperor Qian invited Lin Moyu to dinner. Qian Huang was very polite, and ordered a table full of dishes. There were more than 30 plates. Every dish is exquisite, and the private room is full of fragrance. This table of dishes cost hundreds of military merits at least. Qian Huang really spent a lot of money. Qian Huang introduced, the dishes I ordered are all good ones I have eaten in recent years. Some of the ingredients come from starry sky behemoths, and the other part comes from vegetables or edible animals in the alien territory. Human races generally do not eat other intelligent races. That kind of respect for life is also one of the bottom lines of Terran D80. Prison lions like those used by Lin Moyu today were originally used as ingredients. According to Emperor Qian, this prison lion killed many human races, and he preyed on human beings. Then it was captured by the God King of the human race and sent over as food. Lin Moyu is also welcome. It tastes really good after a few sips. Qian Huang laughed and said, not bad. After leaving the battlefield, it will be difficult to eat these things again. Although Lin Moyu has not been to restaurants a few times, he also knows that these grains generally do not flow into the clan world. At most, there will be a chance to eat it in the interior of some big families. Lin Moyu said, actually, senior brother Qian doesn't need to be so polite. Emperor Qian waved his hand. What is this? How can I say it politely? This time I was able to be promoted to the God King smoothly, thanks to my younger brother's blessing. Brother Lin, I envy you as a brother. You can get the honorary title of the military. Lin Moyu's heart moved. He only knew some superficial things about the title of glory, and he didn't understand the deeper things. It happened that Emperor Qian was here, so he should know better than himself, and asked immediately, "Senior brother Qian, can you tell me what is the use of this honorary title?" Qian Huang said, "Honorary titles are good things. You should read some information on the surface. For example, you can buy some supplies that can only be purchased by real soldiers, and you can use some military-specific facilities." Lin Moyu nodded. "I've seen it." Qian Huang said, "This alone is good enough. At least you don't need to pay high prices to buy those military items from soldiers. In the battlefield, many good things need to be purchased with military merit, and these things are better than those in the trading center. But there are still some better and more top-quality items that can only be purchased by real soldiers, and that is the privilege of soldiers. Those things are called military items. Ordinary people can't buy it even if they have enough military achievements. But what if they don't want to join the army? So someone used points to buy those items from real soldiers. Points are not useless, although the things you buy are not as good as military merits, but the quantity is large, and it is also useful. The military does not restrict such operations. Some soldiers specialize in buying military items, such as some powerful elixir, and then resell them to others at a high price. Chanhuang bought it several times and spent a lot of points. Emperor Qian sighed, "Things for the army are really good. Those pills can save lives. There are also those disposable weapons, which are surprisingly powerful. As long as you have enough military merits, you can buy whatever you want. It's so cool." Lin Moyu was eating the food, thinking about Qian Wang's words. From this point of view, just for this role, the value of the honorary title is already inestimable. He can even make use of the honorary title to earn the price difference and get rich in a short period of time. Of course, the premise is that there must be enough military merit. Aside from that, is there a deeper role? Lin Moyu believes that the title of honor is not just for you to resell, ACFB, it must have a deeper use. Emperor Qian gulped his food, and continued, "Of course there are, and that is the real big use, the honorary title, which can be used to form a private army." Lin Moyu was taken aback and formed a private army. His heart beat violently for several times. The news was so shocking that he couldn't help being a little shocked as he was as calm as he was. Lin Moyu fell silent. When he was still a first-level authority, in order to understand the big world, he read a lot of materials. One of the messages was extremely impressive. In the big world, it is absolutely not allowed to form a private house. No matter how strong your family is, even if it is the family of gods, there are even existences in the family that surpass gods. There is an iron law that does not allow the formation of private armies. Power can make people lost, private armies can form regional monopolies, and even cause civil strife, which is a big deal for the entire human race. Therefore, forming a private army is completely prohibited. But now Emperor Qian told him that he could form a private army. The heart is turbulent, but the surface is calm. Lin Moyu asked in a low voice, "Can you really form a private army?" Qian Huang stared at Lin Moyu, wanting to see his shocked appearance, but he didn't see anything, slightly disappointed. Emperor Qian hummed, "Really, those who have the honorary title can form their own private army. But there are also restrictions. The private army can only serve those with the title of glory, not the family. If it is discovered that those who abuse the private army will be directly deprived of the honorary title." Lin Moyu thought about it for a while, and seemed to understand the intention of this move. Those who can get the honorary title of the military are either top geniuses like themselves, or they have made great contributions to the human race. These two types of people are all aliens want to get rid of. These people set up a private army, and the security can be greatly increased. What's more, in the event of a war, these private rooms are also a force. With the promotion of the title of glory, the scale of forming a private army will also grow accordingly. As long as the use of the private army is restricted, it will not have a big impact on the balance of the human race. After thinking about this, Lin Moyu suddenly realized. Qian Huang laughed and said, "Think about it." Lin Moyu hummed, "I almost understand." Emperor Qian said, "Actually, our Qian family also has a private army, but that army is controlled by our ancestors. Although the private army cannot directly work for the Qian family, the ancestors brought the private army to various secret places, coming and going. It also brought a lot of resources to the Qian family. There are other functions. When you form a private army in the future, you will naturally understand." Qian Huang didn't go into details. After all, he didn't personally set up a private army, and some things were his own understanding. If it is wrong, it may mislead Lin Moyu. But he didn't know that Lin Moyu never thought of forming any private army. No matter how good a private army is, can it compare to your own undead army? His tens of millions of undead army are more useful than any private army. Lin Moyu still had some questions in his mind and was about to speak. The whole fortress was buzzing, and the starry sky outside the window turned reddish. The two walked to the window and looked out. Qian Huang said softly, "It's light red, it shouldn't be a big deal." This is the first time Lin Moyu has seen such a situation. The 100,000-kilometer starry sky within the range of fortress number 10 is completely shrouded in reddish light. This kind of red is a little lighter than fresh blood, and it looks a little weird. Qian Huang said, "Junior brother Lin is seeing it for the first time. After seeing it a lot, you will get used to it. Every time there is an abnormal phenomenon on the battlefield, this kind of light will appear. If I'm not mistaken, a mission will be released soon, and everyone in Fortress number 10 will receive an urgent mission. This kind of task is a special task. Generally speaking, the reward is good, but the risk is relatively high. Brother Lin can judge it by himself according to the task content. But this time it is only light red, the danger should not be great, and the reward is probably not too good. If it is dark red." Before he finished speaking, there was another soft humming sound to deliver the confession. The starry sky, which was originally light red, suddenly turned bright red. Immediately afterwards, the bright red color only lasted for a while, and then quickly turned into a dark red color. Lin Moyu felt an inexplicable smell of blood pervading the fortress. Qian Wang's face also became unattractive, and he said in a deep voice, "The change is so fast, it seems that this mission is very dangerous, and I am afraid that some gods will be trapped in it." Lin Moyu asked strangely, "If even the gods are trapped in it, then let's go, don't we die?" Emperor Qian shook his head, "Not necessarily, the battlefield is different from the human race world. The human race world can be regarded as a world with stable rules, while the rules of the battlefield are very unstable. It can also be said to be chaotic. Anything can happen here, such as the Xingxing Jinguo group that junior brother Lin just visited. In the Starfire group, the strength of the entrance will be suppressed. Even if the gods enter it, they will be suppressed to the peak of the true god." Lin Moyu nodded, "It is indeed so. This kind of suppression comes from the laws of the great world. Except for some special means, it is difficult to break through that kind of suppression." Qian Huang said, "The basic stellar fine fire group itself has nothing to do with the law of the great world. No one knows where the restrictions of the law of the great world come from. It seems that someone has specially arranged it. Anyway, I have this feeling. I don't know if junior brother Lin feels it." Lin Moyu nodded silently in his heart. "That feeling has been there since he just entered the Starfire group. At that time, I felt that there seemed to be an invisible big hand playing with all these things like playing a game. But that was just a feeling, not evidence." Seeing that Lin Moyu was silent, Emperor Qian continued, "So, the degree of danger of the task has nothing to do with the realm of cultivation. It is possible that a secret realm will appear, and if a god enters it, his cultivation will be suppressed to the level of a god king, or even a true god. In this way, even if you fall into it, it's normal. The color of the light is almost like this. It is light red that can kill the true god, which is the safest. The one that can kill the king of gods is big red, which is relatively dangerous. If even a god can be killed, it will be crimson like it is now. But even if it's crimson, a deity will die if he enters it, but a real god may not necessarily die if he enters it. It depends on the task." After Chanhuang's explanation, Lin Moyu finally figured it out. Lin Moyu said softly, "Whether he can go or whether he wants to go depends on the task." Qian Huang hummed, "Although the Crimson mission is very dangerous, the rewards are very generous. If the mission is suitable, it is still worth going." Since the red light rose, the two of them had no intention of eating anymore. A table of delicacies has become a decoration. Originally, practitioners don't have much food needs, and food is just a kind of adjustment. Except for some special foods, that's generally true. After waiting for about 10 minutes, both of them received a message from Renwang Network at the same time. Suzaku Battlefield, Area 601, a mysterious manor appears. The mysterious manor contains strange laws that will suppress the strength of the entrant. All entrants will be suppressed to the 7th level of True God. There is danger in the manna, and gods have fallen in it. According to observation, the manna will disappear in 300 days, and the task is released now. Special mission: explore the mysterious manna. Explore all the information in the mysterious manna. The more comprehensive the information you get, the higher the evaluation you will get. Completion conditions: survive in the manna for more than 3 days, and successfully return or bring 10 valid information or items. Basic rewards: 50,000 points, 500 military merits. Additional rewards: according to the harvested information and the items obtained, it will be evaluated separately. Restrictions: cultivators whose cultivation level is greater than or equal to the 4th level of the true God and who have more than 1,000 years of work can accept this task. 0. Asking for flowers. Precautions: the interior of this manna is extremely dangerous. Apart from this family, other races have entered it, and the danger has increased again. Please weigh your own strength and decide whether to accept the task. After seeing the complete mission information, Lin Moyu and Qian Huang glanced at each other. Lin Moyu hoped to get some useful information from Qian Huang. No matter what Qian Huang said, he has also worked hard on the battlefield for so many years, and he knows more or less about the things on the battlefield. Sure enough, Lin Moyu was not disappointed. Emperor Qian did know some useful information. Emperor Qian pondered for a few seconds, as if he was trying to organize his words, and said slowly with his eyes downcast, "The rules in the battlefield sometimes become chaotic. Whenever there is confusion about the rules, something bizarre happens. For example, some inexplicable things appear. A very ancient fortress once appeared in the legend, and the human fortress you see now is said to be imitated from the fortress that once appeared. About 40 years ago, there was a star that inexplicably appeared on the battlefield. At that time, the starry sky in fortress number 10 was red to black. At least 10 gods are folded inside." When Emperor Qian spoke, memories flashed in his eyes, revealing a little fear. It seems that the memory given to him at that time is very bad. Lin Moyu asked, "Brother Qian went too?" Qian Huang shook his head, his voice became even deeper. "I didn't go, but an elder in the clan went. I just watched from a distance. I saw that elder with my own eyes, his body turned into bones, and his death was miserable. That elder is a god, and he was very kind to me on weekdays. At that time, I wanted to save him, but he sent a message not to allow me to approach. Danger often also represents opportunity. At least 10 gods have been folded into the human race, so I am afraid that other races will not be missing." Lin Moyu asked, "What happened in the end?" Qian Huang said, "In the end, that star existed for 238 days, and suddenly disappeared. It appeared very suddenly, and it disappeared very abruptly. There were still many people on the stars at that time, and they disappeared with the stars." Lin Moyu was slightly startled. He wanted to analyze something from it, but the information was a bit sparse, and what he could analyze was really limited. Fortunately, Qian Huang still knows a lot. After Qian Huang's narration, Lin Moyu gradually analyzed some information. Over the years, Emperor Qian has heard that the rules have been confused several times. Among them, I personally experienced once, when an ocean suddenly appeared in the vast starry sky. That's right, the ocean. The ocean has no boundaries, and its range is slightly smaller than that of ordinary stars, so it floats in the starry sky. Under it, there seems to be an invisible giant hand, dragging it, presenting a flat shape. In the center of the ocean, there is a mountain that exudes divine light. Many people went there, including Qian Hao. There was a tinge of excitement in Qian Wang's voice. "That sea is very strange. No matter where you go, no matter which direction you go in, you will always appear on the edge of the sea. The laws there are chaotic and impossible to distinguish. Inside, everyone's strength is suppressed to the first level of the true God. We can't fly in it, we can only go through it. But on the way, you will encounter the tsunami, wind waves, and whirlpools. All the losers are sent out of the ocean, and cannot enter again. I finally climbed the mountain, but only to the foot of the mountain. From the foot of the mountain, I picked up a spar. That spar allowed me to directly upgrade my cultivation base from the 5th level of the true God to the 6th level of the true God without any sequelae." Quote, Qian Huang described his experience in detail. Combining what Qian Huang heard and what he experienced personally, Lin Moyu formed his own understanding of such events. When such events occur, the rules will be confused, and various laws will be distorted together, making it impossible to distinguish. No one knows where the things that suddenly appeared came from. Some said they came from the undiscovered world deep in the great world, and others said they came from another world. At present, it is certain that this type of incident can be divided into several levels. The one experienced by Emperor Qian was not dangerous, no one died, it was more like a test, and the losers were eliminated. In such a non-dangerous situation, the task will only be notified, and no light will appear. Other than that, it is light red, bright red, deep red, and red. The 4 different colors represent different dangers. Light red means that the true god has died, bright red means that the god king has died, dark red means that the god has died inside. As for black and red have not appeared a few times in total, which means there is no solution. At the same time, danger also represents opportunity. The darker the color, the greater the opportunity. Except for the unsolvable difficulty, other difficulties have successfully returned alive, and even reached the sky in one step. At this time, Emperor Qian poured all the wine in his mouth into his mouth, and sighed. As the master of the battlefield, the military actually has more detailed information, but these information will not be announced to us. Even inside the military, if you haven't reached a certain position, you can't see it either. After finishing speaking, Emperor Qian cast his gaze over and asked, "Junior brother Lin, are you going to go?" Looking at the crimson starry sky outside the window is not incomprehensible difficulty, but even the gods died inside, which shows that the danger is extremely high. But the greater the risk, the higher the profit, and it is even possible to reach the sky in one step. To go or not to go has become a problem before Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu can't make up his mind. After all, he hasn't seen it with his own eyes, so it's hard to say. After pondering for a while, Lin Moyu said, "Go and see first, whether to go or not, we will talk about it when the time comes." Emperor Qian chuckled, "Okay, let's go and have a look first." The two left the restaurant, accompanied by the crimson light, went to the Xuan Suo array. Since the appearance of the red light and the release of the mission of the Human Emperor Network, almost all the practitioners in the entire fortress have been discussing this matter. It can be seen that many people are eager to try. Although it is dangerous, it also has opportunities. Now that the opportunity is right in front of us, it would be a lie to say that we don't want to go. With the opening of the mission, the teleportation opens a special mode. Anyone who accepts the mission can use the teleportation array for free to go to Fortress 6. Fortress 6 is far away, and advancing along the edge of the battlefield requires several transfers, with a total distance of more than 40,000 light-years. Both of them accepted the mission and went to Fort 6. This is also Qian Wang's opinion. The task will be accepted first, and we will decide whether to go or not. Anyway, if you take the task and don't do it, there will be no punishment. This is a special mission, which is different from ordinary battlefield missions. You can think of accepting a mission as a free transfer ticket. In less than a minute, the two had arrived at Fort 6. The teleportation array continues to open, from Fort 6 to Area 01. It is also an outpost, where the human race stationed an army. Compared with the usual quietness, today's outpost is extremely lively. Several teleportation arrays kept flickering, and people kept coming out of them. After leaving the teleportation array, many people quickly identified the direction and headed towards the direction where the manor appeared. Just what Lin Moyu saw, there were no less than 1,000 people. I believe that before them, and after them, there will be many people coming. Perhaps some people who were originally performing the task will temporarily interrupt the task and come over first. Qian Huang and Lin Moyu flew towards the task point together. Qian Huang sighed softly, "This time, I don't know how many people will die." He seemed to be worried about others, and there was some unbearable look in his eyes. Lin Moyu is not as extravagant as Qian Huang. Everyone has their own choice, time is fate, and if you want to get something, you have to pay. Emperor Qian sighed, "That's the truth, but seeing so many people go to die, I can't bear it." Lin Moyu could understand Qian Wang's thoughts. He was a kind and good man, and he couldn't help joking, "Senior brother Qian, you look a bit like those guys from the Buddhist clan." As expected, Emperor Qian was distracted and snorted, I don't want to get involved with those guys from the Buddha clan. Those guys are not good people." Lin Moyu raised his eyebrows. He heard some unusual aura from Qian Wang's words, and said tentatively, "It seems that senior brother Qian doesn't like the Buddha family." Qian Huang looked around and lowered his voice, "There are some things that I can't say, and I only saw a few words from the family's information." Anyway, junior brother Lin, remember, don't deal with the Buddhist clan, stay away from them. 11. Lin Moyu nodded, I see. Dealing with each other, how can it be possible to deal with each other? It's almost as good as killing people. I killed a Buddha of the Buddhist family by myself. It is estimated that the Buddhists wish to die by themselves. If you meet a Buddhist, maybe you will have a good fight. Since the Buddhas dared to accept the reward offered by the demons to kill themselves, then Lin Moyu would not be polite and would kill one at a time. No matter in the small world or the big world, Lin Moyu's methods are simple and direct. He doesn't like too many twists and turns, and he doesn't like to compromise. As long as you can't kill me, you must be prepared to be killed by me. In the starry sky, the crowd became the best beacon. After flying with the crowd for a while, a green light appeared in front of my eyes. Then the green light gradually enlarged in sight, and a lush garden full of grass came into view. In the dark starry sky, a lush garden suddenly appeared. How strange it looked. The rules are really chaotic. The rules that should have been clear are now in a mess, like a twist of twist, with no clue at all. Emperor Qian also felt the chaos of the law. Where the law is chaotic, our strength will be affected. As Qian Huang said, the strength has indeed been affected to a certain extent, but it is not very big, and it is still within the tolerance range. It's just that this lush and green garden makes Lin Moyu feel a little weird. Moving on, the greenery expands and the garden is only part of it. Soon, they saw some buildings, which were combined with gardens and turned into a manor. The building should be some years old, revealing an ancient atmosphere. The building is shrouded in a layer of greenery, which is not clear. Behind the manor, there seemed to be a grove, and there was a small hill indistinctly. The manor is very large, with a diameter of tens of thousands of kilometers. Such a large manor is almost comparable to an ordinary living planet. The most amazing thing is that no matter which angle you stand on, the picture you see is the same. There are gardens, buildings, and trees in front of you. Even if you go around to the back, the picture you see is the same. Qian Huang said, that's it, no matter from which angle you look at it, it's the same. This is just a superficial phenomenon. It's hard to say whether it's real or not. It's possible that what we see is a manor and what we enter is a sea of flames. Lin Moyu listened to Qian Wang's words, and the situation before him made him feel the danger. But for some reason, he has a sense of familiarity with the manor. There is no memory about the manor in the memory, Lin Moyu is sure, but the familiarity is very real. Lin Moyu said, don't worry, just wait and see. Emperor Qian hummed, there is really no need to worry. There are 300 days. Renwang Network's calculations are very well prepared. As long as there is no accident, there will not be too much error. People from the military have already gone in, maybe there will be an answer later. When an abnormality is discovered, the first to enter must be the military personnel. Their actions are the fastest, and they will be the first to get it if they have the opportunity. Similarly, if there is danger, they will be the first to bear it. Danger and opportunity go hand in hand. After they conduct a rough exploration, the military will publish some information for more in-depth exploration. This information is not free, you need to spend military power to get it. Lin Moyu looked up into the deep space. There are alien races coming, let's retreat first. He sensed the breath of other races, and the high-level warning beads on Emperor Qian's body also lit up. There are other races appearing within 1,000,000 kilometers, and they are still hostile races. Emperor Qian was a little surprised by Lin Moyu's perception ability. Yuanren was able to spot the incoming person one step earlier than the high-level warning beads. Lin Moyu looked mysterious in his eyes. The two retreated quickly, back to the area where the human race gathered. Soon, they saw a team coming towards them. It's a team of old acquaintance demons, led by a demon of the god realm, followed by thousands of demons. There are demons of hell and abyss. The strength is also uneven, and the weakest ones are only the 5th and 6th ranks of the true gods. Strongly reached the peak of the God King. There is also a deity guarding the human side. This deity Lin Moyu is unknown, but he is known to be from Fortress 6, and he is an elder in the Fortress 6. The elder led a few God Kings to face the demon team far away, guarding for the human race. Emperor Qian whispered, don't worry, I won't do anything. There are unspoken rules here. When the rules are chaotic and strange events occur, all ethnic groups will choose a truce. This time the chaotic rules took place in the area under the jurisdiction of Fort 6, so the elder who came here was also the elder of Fort number 6. His name is Li Yuanbai, and he is a very powerful 4th-level deity. The main thing now is to explore the manor in front of me. As for race wars, there is plenty of time to fight, so it's not bad. The deity of the demon family is a demon from the Hell system, and the Black Tiger demon is the main family of the demon family. He let out a growl. First ones, go in. Following his voice, 100 demons from the true God realm and 10 demons from the God King realm came out, rushed into the manor and disappeared. Obviously, the demon race is not without rules, they also have their own set of methods. Qian Huang said, among the demons that went in just now, there are twin demons. Twin demons have twin births. They seem to be two people, but they are actually one, with only one soul. If a person dies inside, the soul will return to another body, and the information inside can be brought out. Lin Moyu was not surprised, and said with a slight smile, a very magical demon. There are many races of demons, and there are all kinds of strange demons. It is not surprising that a demon like the twin demon appears. Qian Huang continued, moreover, the demons can use their clones to get in. No one knows whether the demons that entered just now are the main body or the clones. Actually, demons are stronger than us humans in this regard. Lin Moyu laughed, there are advantages and disadvantages, at least we humans are better than demons. Ha ha. Qian Huang was amused by Lin Moyu, but he didn't expect Lin Moyu to make a joke suddenly. The previous worries were all diluted by this joke, and Emperor Qian laughed. Indeed, at least our human race grows well, not like their weird shapes. While they were talking, some races came over. There are the enemies of the Flying Clan, and the Golden Eagle Clan is the leader of the Silver Clan. There are also human allies like the Butterfly Clan. Unspoken rules played a role, and conflicts did not arise between the various ethnic groups. When the laws were in chaos, all races exercised restraint and made a living by exploring. Lin Moyu made a rough estimate, adding up all ethnic groups, there are at least 977,000 of people who have entered the manor. But so far, no one has returned. While waiting, 3 days passed. Emperor Qian said in a low voice, it's almost time for a result. According to past experience, after the military personnel go in, they usually return in about 3 days and bring out first-hand information. For exploring the unknown, data becomes extremely important. The more comprehensive the information, the higher the security. Especially the manor in front of me, the danger level has reached the crimson, even the gods are folded in it, life and death are unknown. The importance of data is even more evident. Finally on the 4th day, accompanied by a space distortion, a figure appeared outside the manor. Lin Moyu looked up, and it was the human race that came back. 2 people, no, 1.5 to be precise. One of them had only half of his body left. From the half of the body below the waist, there are only miserable bones, no flesh and blood. The wound on the waist was smooth and neat, and the meat intestines were clearly visible. Fortunately, this person is the king of gods, and his powerful force sealed his wounds, and he survived tenaciously. Li Yuanbai's figure flashed, and he had already come in front of the other party. He took out an elixir and stuffed it into the opponent's mouth, and at the same time crushed another elixir. The elixir turned into a majestic law of life and covered the wound. Li Yuanbai didn't waste any time. While treating his injuries, he began to inquire about the situation in the manor. The King of God was so severely injured inside that many people present took a breath of cold air. The God King personally demonstrated the danger inside to everyone. All the skin and flesh below the waist disappeared, leaving only the bones. What kind of situation, the regiment will cause such strange damage? Fortunately, physical injuries were nothing. No matter how serious the physical injury is, as long as it is not dead, it can be cured. But Lin Moyu felt that his injury was not simple. Even after leaving the manor, taking internal and external pills, and using 2 prongs, the injury did not improve. The physical body of the God King realm is at least at the super god level, with a strong self-healing ability. Even if there is no elixir, it can be regenerated naturally. It is nothing more than a matter of speeding up and slowing down. If it is said that the power is suppressed inside, making the wound unable to recover, it is hard to say. But after leaving the manor, the aura of God King realm is so obvious, and the wound is still the same, so it's hard to say. Lin Moyu looked more and more wrong. No. Qian Huang was slightly taken aback. Is there any question? His injury is deteriorating, Lin Moyu said. Ah. Qian Huang froze for a moment, didn't understand Lin Moyu's words, he didn't see it at all. and that God King is shrouded by the law of life at this time, so there shouldn't be any problems. How did Lin Moyu judge that the opponent's injury was deteriorating? Lin Moyu is extremely sensitive to the breath of life, and he feels that the breath of life of the other party is weakening at an extremely slow speed. The breath of life weakened, and the wound naturally deteriorated. If it goes on like this, I'm afraid that within a few days, the flesh and blood of the whole person will disappear, leaving only bones. At that time, the soul will lose the protection of the body, even the soul of the God King will be in danger. Without reaching the realm of deity, the soul cannot live independently from the body. It's okay to leave for a short time, but leaving for a long time is courting death. Lin Moyu didn't explain the reason, he just flew over. The arrival of Lin Moyu immediately caught Li Yuanbai's attention. Originally, he wanted to reprimand, but when he saw the sign in Lin Moyu's hand, his expression changed immediately. The honor token of the military, only those who have won the title of glory will have the glory token. Among the human race, there are only a handful of people who have won the honorary title. He thought of one person, Lin Moyu, who just got the honorary title a few days ago. It's him. Quote. Li Yuanbai recalled the situation at that time. He was shocked when he learned that the precious title of glory was going to be given to a boy who was only the fourth rank of a true god. At that time, there were only two words in his mind: outrageous. At that time, he asked the army commander of Fort 6 if this matter was a bit too exaggerated. A true god is only at the fourth level. Even if he is a genius, he will not get the honorary title. But at that time, the head of the legion told him not to care. Although he didn't understand it, he also felt that it might not be that simple behind the matter. If you want to give the honorary title, even the army commander of the fortress does not have this authority. It takes the entire battlefield, 10 fortresses, and 10 legion commanders to agree together. But such a silent boy. He immediately guessed that it might be the mysterious and powerful Lord Guardian. In fact, he is the undisputed figure in the entire Suzaku battlefield. But he didn't ask, and in his capacity, he shouldn't have asked. But no matter what, as the elder of the Fortress 6 and the strong man in the state of God, he still looks down on this little guy who takes advantage of his relationship in his heart. I looked down on it in my heart, but I was still polite on the surface. But Lin Moyu, Lin Xiaoyu. Lin Moyu saluted respectfully. Junior Lin Moyu, I have met senior. Li Yuanbai was born in the army, and he also has a military temperament, and his words are straightforward. Old man number 6 Fort Elder, Li Yuanri, Xiaoyu Lin, don't need to be so polite. If you don't know what's going on, just be straightforward. Lin Moyu was not polite, and directly pointed out the situation of the God King in front of him. The law of life is useless to him, and his injury is still deteriorating. In fact, before Lin Moyu came, Li Yuanbai had already discovered this. The elixir didn't work as it should, but fortunately the injury didn't deteriorate quickly, and he planned to ask about the situation before sending him back for treatment. Unexpectedly, Lin Moyu could also find out, which shows that Lin Moyu is indeed outstanding. The impression of Lin Moyu changed a little. Li Yuanbai said bluntly, the law of life is invalid. After we find out about the situation in the manor, I will send him back for treatment. Lin Moyu's heart moved. Why don't you try it at night? Li Yuanbai raised his eyebrows. Even his elixirs were ineffective, so what use is there for Lin Moyu, who is only a 4th level true god? But after thinking about it, he glanced at the glory token in Lin Moyu's hand intentionally or unintentionally, and decided to give it a try. Anyway, it's not so short of time. With Li Yuanbai's consent, Lin Moyu came before the God King. At this time, Shenawang Qi was lost, and his face was extremely pale. The strong persistence of the soldiers allowed him to persist until now, without even making a sound. The two elixirs worked both internally and externally. Although the injury was controlled in terms of performance, it did not make the injury better. At most, it is just to slow down the deterioration of the injury. Lin Moyu pointed out, and pressed on the waist of the God King, the place closest to the wound. The law of immortality got into the opponent's body and entered the opponent's wound. Lin Moyu immediately felt a strange force from the wound, constantly corroding the wound and devouring the vitality. Not only the vitality of the God King itself, but even the power of the law of life was swallowed, and the flesh and blood were also swallowed by this force. After devouring so much power, this power didn't become stronger because of it, it just remained the same. This force is not powerful, but it is very strange and difficult to get rid of. It is precisely because of this that the law of life has not played its due role. Backquote, this power seems to be different from the power in the big world, and has its own independent laws. At the same time, it has the effects of corrosion and devouring, and it is not easy to deal with. But it's really not strong, it shouldn't be able to stop the law of immortality. When it comes to corrosive power, the power of death in the law of immortality is second, and no other law dares to be the first. With a movement in my heart, the law of immortality suddenly turned into the power of death, and the power of death quickly launched a fierce attack on that mysterious force using the wound of the God King as the battlefield. The Divine King's expression changed drastically, his brows were tightly furrowed, revealing a look of pain. His body has become a battlefield, no pain is fake. But as a soldier, he didn't yell out, but held back. His reaction also caused a change in Li Yuanbai. Before he could make a sound, Lin Moyu said, "Be patient, it will be fine soon." Lin Moyu's words were full of confidence, and Li Yuanbai didn't say any more. The realm has reached the gods, so there is still some patience. That mysterious power was just as Lin Moyu thought, but it was weird and not powerful. Its corrosive power is not worth mentioning in front of the law of immortality. Its devouring ability cannot devour the law of undead. In less than a minute, this force was completely eliminated. The law of immortality was transformed into the power of life in an instant, and healed the God King. The two-pronged elixir immediately erupted with a powerful healing effect, and the injury recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. The broken limb was reborn, and after a few minutes, it had fully recovered. With excitement on his face, the Divine King thanked Lin Moyu. "Thank you for your help, little friend." Lin Moyu chuckled, "You're welcome, let's get dressed first." A long robe appeared on the God King's body in an instant, and he looked a little embarrassed. He had just been reborn with flesh and blood, so he ignored this point. Li Yuanbai laughed and said, "Little friend Lin, you have extraordinary means." Lin Moyu is extremely humble, Senior has praised me, and I am only doing my best. Li Yuanbai nodded. About the situation in the manor, I have just talked about half of it, but it is still not clear enough. Lieutenant Tang, please explain it in detail again without any omissions. Captain Tang, whose real name is Tang Zhen, is the third rank of God King. He is a school lieutenant in Fortress 6, and he leads an army of 10,000 people under his command, with considerable power. Tang Zhen was a little hesitant at first. After all, Lin Moyu is not a member of the military. Is it appropriate to tell him something? But seeing Li Yuanbai's wink, Tang Zhen understood it and started talking immediately. The appearance of the manor happened to be in his jurisdiction, and he should have entered first. But the situation was a bit special at that time, an elder was patrolling nearby. So the elder first sent someone in, and after that person went in, he brought back some basic information. For example, whether the power will be suppressed, whether it can fly, whether it can use magic weapons, whether the rules are restricted, etc. This basic information does not take much time. The man entered and returned safely. The power has indeed been suppressed to the 5th level. According to his previous experience, the task is set as light red and easy level. There is a certain delay between the discovery of the message and the return of the message. After reporting layer by layer and summarizing, it has been 2 days since Fortress number 1 emitted light. In the past 2 days, the Elder also went in. Chance, the Elders also like it. As for the power being suppressed, even if it is suppressed to the 5th level of the true God, the Elders of the godly realm can still exert power far beyond the 5th level of the true God, so they are not afraid at all. It was normal at first, but 1 day later, the Elder suddenly lost contact. At this time, someone came back again, saying that the Elder had been trapped in it, and he did not know whether he was alive or dead. As a result, the danger level of the manor was quickly raised, and it turned dark red. Tang Zhen was next. As the person in charge of this area, he had no fear and led a team of 10 people into the manor. Actually, I was the third batch to go in. The first batch of people who went in just collected basic information and formed tasks. The second group was Elder Wang. He brought 3 people in, 3 true gods. As a result, only 1 true god came back. The life and death of Elder Wang and the other 2 true gods is uncertain. I took 10 brothers in the real god realm to go in, and it was normal at first, but after walking 1,000 kilometers, the danger, Ace, came. We can't fly in the manor, we can only walk. First of all, a brother got stuck in the grass, like a swamp. We went to pull it, but we couldn't pull it back. The grass swallowed it too fast, and that brother just disappeared. Thinking of this, Tang Zhen's eyes showed a trace of bitterness. Usually, he and his brothers are as close as brothers. He was naturally heartbroken when his brother died inside. After a pause, he continued, after that brother died, everything seemed to be back to normal, and the place that devoured him became the same as looking for grass. At the 2000th kilometer, the sky suddenly thundered, and the lightning fell on the grass, turning the area we were in into a sea of flames. At the 3000th kilometer, the grass on the ground suddenly turned into a sharp arrow. Tang Zhen told a little bit about their team's experience. From his description, it seems that every 1,000 kilometers, there will be a crisis, and the team will be reduced. The first time, one person died. The second time, 2 people died. The third time, 3 people died. It can be seen that the closer to the manor, the higher the level of danger. By the 4th time, danger struck again. But this time, along with the danger, there is another passage. Tang Zhen immediately ordered the team to enter the passage. After entering the passage, they entered a separate space. At that time, including Tang Zhen, there were only 5 people left in their team. This space is like an independent secret room, surrounded by walls and without any exit. Tang Zhen attacked the wall, trying to open the next gap, but to no avail. Then several huge heads appeared on the wall, burning raging flames, rushing over. The flames were terrifying as the sea of fire at the 2000th kilometer. The temperature was so high that they couldn't resist it at all. They were trying to escape, but unfortunately the secret room was too small, and some people were burned to death. When a person was burned to death, an exit suddenly appeared in the secret room. Tang Zhen didn't even think about it, and immediately rushed into the exit with people. They entered the second secret room, but the flame head did not chase after them. There was no fire in this secret room, and water arrows shot from the surrounding walls. One team member did not react in time, and was shot by a water arrow on the spot, and his body rotted to death. After his death, the exit appeared again on the top of the Chamber of Secrets. At that time, Tang Zhen and the others were already terrified. Under Tang Zhen's order, they rushed to the exit again. The water arrows were too dense, and they tried all kinds of methods and magic weapons before they managed to rush in. During this process, Tang Zhen, as the school lieutenant, was also the one with the highest level of cultivation. He stayed behind and let the 2 players escape first. Unfortunately, in the process, another one died. And Tang Zhen was shot in the waist by the water arrow in the end, causing everything below the waist to rot, leaving only bones. In the third secret room, a strong wind blew like a knife. It was terrifying. But this time there was also an exit. Tang Zhen had no choice but to drag half of his body and rushed into that exit. He was lucky, the exit was very close to him, so he could rush in safely. If the distance is too far, he is afraid that he will die in the third secret room. After passing through this exit, I came to a secret room. There is no more danger in this secret room, and a crystal is placed in the center. When Tang Zhen picked up the crystal, another exit appeared in the secret room. After entering the exit, he left the manor and returned to the battlefield. In the end, the crystal Tang Zhen obtained was the size of a fist, crystal clear, and no corresponding results could be obtained with the detection technique. Lin Moyu thought about the process of Tang Zhen's narration. The whole process was dangerous and weird. His team has always been in a passive state, and in the end it was just luck. Because their strength is limited, they have almost no resistance when facing danger. It is certain that this manor is very dangerous, but it is not unsolvable. Otherwise, Tang Zhen would not be able to come out alive in the end, and he would also bring out an unknown crystal. How do I feel? This manor is like a copy in the small world, a copy of the test type. If you pass the test, you will be rewarded. If you fail, you will stay in it. Li Yuanbai collected what Tang Zhen said, and then sent the information back to Renwang Network through special items. In the Renwang Network, there are high-level people of the race, think tanks, and researchers of various abnormal phenomena. They will give corresponding analysis, so he doesn't need to worry about it. But Lin Moyu came back and repeated what Tang Zhen said to Qian Huang. Lin Moyu did not add his own analysis, which would affect Qian Hao's judgment. No one can guarantee that their judgment is correct. Perhaps Emperor Qian will have a different opinion.